prefer, so this article said, he would prefer to go to Liverpool. I don't know whether you've heard that, Cuz, but that
Right.
was quite an interesting thing to hear.
Yeah. It'd be great to have him back. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Harry Kane. I mean, he's got one job, scoring goals, and he does score goals, so you
Mm.
can't really knock him. He's there, like you said, he's there when anticipating the ball, and he does a good job with it. So you can't really knock him. It's just, I
No.
think he's a world-class player. Yeah, I haven't just to answer that question. I haven't heard anything about him coming back to the Premier League yet. So let's hope he does come back, because yeah, because he sort of gives hope to whatever team is on. So he gives
Yeah.
them hope. There is hope, guys. Where I'm going to try my best to score a goal. And even if he doesn't, um, you can still feel his impact. He would
Mm.
disturb the defenders. He gives them nightmares. Just being there, because they know when he's there, he's looking to do only one thing: get to the back of the net.
Mm.
And he does that very often. So yeah. Now, there was somebody that I was quite fascinated by the way he plays. I've always loved him. I think he's a bit underrated, and it's this guy that plays for Arsenal, Declan Rice.
Declan Rice, yeah.
Declan Rice. He's got the best measured pass or passes that I have seen in my life. His passes are so measured that it just seems to find whoever he wants to find. It's like
Mm.
throwing a curveball. It's like, phew, and he always finds whoever he wants to find. I mean, they might not always score, but he's great at passes, aren't he? What do you make of him?
Yeah, I've always rated him. He was at West Ham, of course, for a few years, good few years, and established himself there. It's obviously helped his game to go to Arsenal, I would say. But yeah, he's a very natural international footballer.
It
He's one
is.
of those players who it's very difficult to define what his role really is because he pops up, in the opposing penalty area and then back in his own penalty area. He has
Yeah.
a great work rate, a great engine, as they say. And yeah, what can you say? He's got a great shot on him as well when he shoots. So I've really got nothing but praise for Declan Rice. He seems to me to be, in things I've read about him or that he said, a very down to earth sort of guy, very modest for someone with very clear international football ability. So yeah,
Absolutely.
he's a real asset to Arsenal and to England, and he's
Ab-
a great role model, I think, for youngsters coming into the game of football. He does his bit around the community by all accounts, as lots of them do. Let's face it. But yeah, it's important, I think, in this day and age for prominent sports people to be something of a role model to others because they are watched. People do watch what they do and what they say. So I would say that for Declan Rice, that he is an exemplary footballer. He's a great role model for youngsters coming into the game, be they boys or girls.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just love his passes. And somebody else that his passes are quite really good as well, and his style of play is Jude Bellingham. He
Yeah.
is, yeah, he's a great player, Jude Bellingham. Yeah, so I love him. Overall, now let's just talk about the style of play. So the style of play that style of play that Thomas is using. Now, now he's granted he's worked against the less or lower ranked football teams, international sides. How would his style of play rank up against or stack up against teams like Spain, France? I know France lost their game the last time, so but Spain, countries like Spain, Portugal, Argentina, how would his style of play stack up against those sort of teams?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I think after two games, he's obviously, I would imagine, as I said before, observing how things go. He's trying things out. I think that the fact is, I always think these days, whether teams play, three at the back with two wing backs, so that becomes five at the back where necessary, but your wing backs are playing well into attack as well. That's a very traditional way of playing nowadays, much more, I think, than the old 4-4-2 or 4-2-4. I think, three at the back with two wing backs is a very good tried and tested formula, which seems to be what he's doing. So, but I also think there's not an awful lot of difference these days in the way that teams play, certainly in the Premier League. So they would often adopt one or other of those kind of formats. And I think the same for international teams. If you go back a few years, I think, Italy, for example, their teams, their league teams and international team, you saw it at World Cups, were very much slower, purposely so. They were kind of slow, lots of passing around the back, and actually you could argue a bit boring in that at that time, that stage in what they did. And other teams, we think of the old Holland, Dutch team, the Netherlands, total football with the Cruyff and that in those days where they could all play football. That seems a bit of an obvious thing to say, but every member of the team was very good on the ball, very good technically, and it was called total football. And the whole team attacked, and the whole team, or not the whole team, but a good number of the team would come back to defend. It was total football, and that was kind of taken on by Premier League clubs at the time, or the First Division as it possibly was then, and around the world. I mean, we think of Brazil. They were kind of a total football team. The brilliance, the technique of Pele and other players in those great Brazilian teams. Watching a Brazil game was a thrill. It really was tremendous to see those Brazilian people. But as time has gone on and the game has evolved and developed, I think it's reached a stage for a while now that most teams in any